Don't worry about that today. Okay, we're learning about changes to Earth's surface. And remember, lesson 1. What changes happen slowly? Who remembers a slow change to Earth's surface? I know it's been a while. Go ahead and raise your Zoom hand. Zoom hand, Dukchi. I can't see. Bilo, go ahead. What's a slow change that we've learned?
Water.
Excellent. Water can do it. Lavi, what else can make a slow change?
Weathering.
Weathering. But what makes weathering happen, Lavi? Bilo said water. What else can make weathering happen?
Wind and dust.
Excellent. Wind mixed with dust or sand. Excellent. Anyone have one more? Dukchi, do you know one more?
I think it's can be wind.
We've said wind. Do you remember the one that has to do with the winter when it gets cold? How about, who remembers the one, MKA, do you remember the one when it gets cold?
I have two. Ice and trees.
Ice and trees, yes, the plant roots. And remember, when water turns into ice, it makes the crack bigger. So let's look at your weathering drawing homework. I know this is from quite a few days ago now. Hopefully you remember doing it. And if we have time at the end of class, I don't know if we will, I have a word wall game for us to play. If we don't have time though, the same word wall game is also your homework. Surprise, your homework is a word wall game. So if we don't get to it, don't worry, it's also homework.
Miss Miranda.
Yes, Laddie.
I know I'm not traveling to the 80s. I know I'm not traveling to the 90s. I'm gonna travel to.
Okay, Dukchi.
You
know more about time travel. QK or Lavi, who was asking a question? Did someone ask a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Because is your country snowing right now?
No, it is cold. It's only 5 degrees Celsius. But who remembers, how cold does it need to be for water to, go ahead and unmute and say it. How cold does it need to be for it to freeze?
0 degrees. Under 0.
Yeah.
0 degrees.
0 degrees Celsius, and it's 5, so it's really cold, but it's not quite cold enough yet to get snow.
Miss Miranda.
Oh, excellent. Facts, King Nop. Plants' roots start to grow into cracks in rocks. Weathering by plants can change the shape of the leaves. Interesting. This looks very, very good writing. Anyone else want to share theirs? I'll lower your hand. We won't get to look at all of them, but if you'd like, oh, so many. Okay, let's see. I saw Vivian's hand go up first. Oh, beautiful. Vivian, go ahead and read for us about weathering by water and ice.
Okay. Water gets into the rock crack, then it freezes. In the spring, the water melts.
Excellent. And when that happens, the crack is even bigger. Excellent job. I see Bilo's hand is up. Wow, Bilo, this is some nice drawing. Bilo, why don't you read your facts about weathering by wind?
Wind carries bits of sand. The sand hits the rock when the wind blows.
Wonderful, and that breaks it. Excellent. Let's see, I see Lavi, Philip, MKA. Let's see Philip here.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wow. Philip, this picture is so good. You even labeled sand, wind, rock. Great job labeling. Very good. Philip, go ahead and read for us what you wrote about weathering by plants.
Fact 1, the seed fell down the rock and grew roots inside them. Fact 2, the tree roots grow near to the rock and it goes inside it so it can break it into pieces.
Excellent. Right there we'd say into pieces, more than one piece. Excellent work.
Yeah, I know.
Pictures are very easy to see. And let's look at just one more. Oh, I see so many good ones. I know MKA always likes to share. Did you do a good job, MKA? Let's see. Just as it came up, I clicked out of it. Okay, here we go. Oh, you even have some coloring in there. You're missing some facts, but some great drawing, some great coloring. Go ahead and read about your weathering by wind, MKA.
It takes millions of years to happen this. Wind and gusts blow tiny things into force. Force it to crash on the mountain.
Excellent. And I see your before and after. Nice work. So let's remember, what does weathering mean? Who can tell me what weathering means? I'll lower your hands. Go ahead and raise your Zoom hand if you can tell me what weathering means. Hainam, go ahead. Breaking rocks, that's all. The moving rocks is erosion, moving them, moving the rock pieces to a new place. Excellent. So we've learned about how wind can break rock. We'll review that. Actually, let's review it with the questions. What happens during weathering? Hainam just told us rocks.
I had something to tell you.
Go ahead, DTT.
I want to hit a rock. I want to break a rock with my hand.
With your hand, like karate chop?
Yes.
You call it karate chop. Are you taking karate? No?
I need to be strong, Lon.
No, you could ask your parents to sign you up for karate class and learn how to break the rock with your hand. All right, the second question. Is weathering a slow or quick process? How do you know? Let's hear from QK. Is weathering a slow or quick process? How do you know?
Slow because it happened a million years ago.
Excellent. Yes. Wonderful, QK. It takes thousands or millions of years for something like this to happen. A very long time. And who remembers weathering by wind? How can wind change the shape of the rock? And how can wind change the shape of rocks?
Well, wind blow the sand and something small and they hit in the rock and the rock breaks.
Excellent. Wind blows the sand. Let me change color and put it here. Wind blows the sand or dust, it hits the rock, and this breaks it. Weathering by wind. Nice job. Why do you think weathering is important? How does it help the earth? This one is hard, so I'll lower your hands. What do you think? Why is weathering important? How could it help the earth? Dukchi, have you answered yet?
I think weather is important because if we don't have weather, then there would be no rain.
Oh, but Dukchi, remember, is weather and weathering the same thing? Weather is the rain and the thunder and the lightning. What's weathering?
Weathering is something that changes.
That breaks
something.
Rocks, right? Weathering breaks rocks. It could be a plant. So it's not weather. It's not the weather. Weathering is breaking rock. So how is breaking rock important? How does it help the earth? Why do we need to break rock sometimes? I'll give everyone a hint. What do plants need? Weathering helps make something that plants need.
Soil.
Yes, nice, Dukji. Very good. When the rocks break, it turns the rock into soil. Soil is just rock, 1 minute, plus animal poop, plus dead plants and animals. That's all soil is, equal soil. So that makes it very, very important for plants. Nhật Minh, Minh Nhật. Spider-Man. There you go. Go ahead.
You haven't locked the chat.
Lock the chat? It's on host only. You're allowed to chat me. You're allowed to chat me. It's on host only. You can only chat me. All right. This is on page 227 of your Dimensions book. So open up to this page and answer the question. Page 227 in your science book. I'll show it to you here. Right here, 227 in your Science Dimensions book.
I'm done.
Good. Everyone else, go ahead. If you don't have your science book, you can circle on my screen in just a second. Let's let everyone try first. I'll give you a hint. There's only one correct answer. Only one correct answer. All right. Everyone, go ahead and circle your answer on my screen. Show me what you put. I see Engtu drawing. Engtu, you can only pick one. Philip, Vivian, Hafulong, Bilo, nice.
And then can you say again?
Excellent. Wind will weather or break a rock. Okay, everyone, check this in your book. Did you put letter C? Okay. Now, let's take a look at over here. Just to review, Lucida, please stop requesting my screen, okay? Let's take a look at this video just for a little quick review as weathering by wind.
As wind blows, it carries small pieces of sand. Each time the wind blows, more sand pieces hit the side of a rock. Over time, the more the sand hits the rock, the weaker the rock becomes. Eventually, small pieces of the larger rock break off. This is weathering from wind. Each time tiny pieces of the rock break off, it changes the way the rock looks and feels. Over hundreds of years, weathering from wind can drastically change the shape of rocks.
Hundreds, thousands, or even millions of years. With that, remember your ice experiment. What took up more space in the cup, the ice or the water? Let's hear from Hafulong. What took up more space in the cup, ice or water?
I think ice.
Ice. Okay, Hafulong says ice. How do you know? How do you know the ice took up more space?
Yes, but I am not remember it.
That's okay. It was a long time ago now. Anyone remember? What did you do so you could find out if ice or water took up more space? What did you do?
I get one line from the water and one line of the ice, so I know where did the water are and where did the ice are.
Excellent. One line for the water, one line for the ice. And Vivian, what was higher, the line for the water or the line for the ice?
The ice.
The ice. So the ice takes up more space. Let's watch this quickly. Actually, let's do this one first. Here's a little video to show that ice takes up more space than water. Minus 18 degrees Celsius. That's really, really cold. Minus 18.
Miss Miranda, did it break the...
Yep, look at it. Yes, look at it. They're broken. They're overflowing. The lid popped off. It broke the glass. And if it can break glass...
Can you turn again? Can we see again?
We're going to watch this one instead, okay, Minha? Let's take a look at this one. So you can see the glass broke. Now let's see the ice cracking a rock.
Changes in temperature from day to night and the expansion of freezing water cause rocks to wear away. When water enters a crack in a rock, it expands as it freezes overnight. When the ice turns to water and freezes again, it forces the crack open a little more. As the water seeps even further, the crack widens. This freeze-thaw action is repeated. It eventually causes pieces of rock to break off. They fall down.
So So you can see, here's the rock at the beginning, and then after 2 winters, it falls off.
Pieces of rock to break off.
Boom. So it takes a couple of years because this has to happen every winter. So let's observe some on page, you see, right here, 228. 228. And we can see here, the water, the ice, and the cracks get bigger. Water, ice, cracks get bigger. And this will repeat again and again and again. Callum, can you please start us off today? Ben. Ben, can you please start us off today? And read, let's go from here.
Water and ice can break down rock into smaller parts. Most of the rock has small cracks.
Very good. Can you say pieces?
Pieces.
Excellent. And I would like everyone to unmute and say cracks. Cracks.
Cracks.
Excellent. So these are cracks in the rock. Cracks are breaks in the rock. So these here, these are all cracks. These are cracks in the rock. Go ahead and finish this.
Bigger.
Yes. Tang An, go ahead and finish this for us, please. So Tang An, read from here.
When it rains, water gets into the crack. Some water stay in the crack.
Very nice. Thank you, Tang An. So if we look here, Elsa, what happens when it rains?
When it rains, water will fall into the rocks.
Excellent. Into the cracks of the rocks where the rock is broken. And then look what happens in winter. Ming-Nyat, can you please read about what happens in winter? Actually, go ahead and read the whole thing, Nyat Ming. What happens in winter? Maybe he's not there at the moment. How about Ruby? What happens in winter, Ruby? Go ahead.
In winter, the water and the cracks turn to ice. Ice takes more space than water. This causes the ice to push against the crack and makes them bigger.
Excellent. So the ice pushes against the crack because it takes up more space than water, like we just saw. When it turns to ice, it expands. It gets bigger. Everyone, go ahead and underline this in your book. Ice takes up more space than water, so it pushes against the cracks, makes them bigger. This is the key sentence right here, these 2 sentences.
Yes.
If you have it in your book, go ahead and underline it. Nyat Ming, you're too slow. I wanted you to read, but you weren't there.
Please, can you move on?
All right, does that mean everyone's done? Let's go from here then. Lam Ang, can you please read about what happens in the spring?
In spring, the ice melts. The cracks are bigger now. This cycle repeats every year. After many years, it's big enough to cause the rock to break into pieces.
Very nice. Thank you, Lamang. So the cracks are bigger now. Look how big they are. They're much larger. This piece has broken off and it repeats every year. Summer, fall, winter, spring, just like the seasons. The water freezes in the cracks every year and makes them bigger and bigger and bigger. Everyone, go ahead and answer this question in your book. We'll go over it at the end of this. I have it here. What do you see in the top picture? Back. Swan back. What do you see in the top picture?
I see in the top picture is a rock.
And what's happening to the rock?
It begins to crack.
It has some cracks in it. And what's going into the cracks?
Snow.
Not snow. I'll give you a hint. The precipitation, the water falling from the sky, is a liquid, not a solid. So it's not snow. What is the liquid that falls from the sky?
Rain.
Rain. Excellent. So the top rock, I'll write those down. Back says it's a rock. It has cracks, and the cracks are filling up with rainwater. Number 2, Tepi. Tepi, what changes do you observe in the second picture? What's happening in the second picture?
The rock crack is filled up with ice.
Excellent. So
water got cold enough to make ice.
excellent. Okay, so our rainwaters turn to ice because it's cold enough. I'll put a little 0 degrees Celsius here.
And the crack got bigger.
And the crack, okay. So sorry, someone signed me out of my account like usual. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So the cracks got bigger. Very nice job, Tepi. Excellent observations. Here, okay. And what happened to the rock in the bottom picture? Let's finish it up with Lucida. What's happened to the rock in the bottom picture? Lucida, what's happened to the rock in the bottom picture? Not there? How about Mai Hua? Oh, there's Lucida. Go ahead.
On the top bottom, the rock is the have cracks that cracks.
But what's different about the bottom picture? What happened to the rock at the bottom picture down here? Part of it broke off, right? Part of the rock is broken. It's broken off. It's on the floor. Okay, excellent work, everybody. So here are 2 rocks, the first one and the last one again. What's the difference between the first picture and the last picture? We should all be able to answer this now. How about Ken? Ken, what's the difference between the first picture and the last picture?
The first picture has crack, but it wasn't open in big cracks. But the last has many cracks, and it makes the rock open into pieces.
Excellent. Broken into pieces. And anytime a rock breaks into pieces, this is called weathering. Nice job, Ken. Good work, Ken. What do you think happens when the cycle repeats again and again and again? So every winter, the cycle repeats every winter, right? Every winter, the cracks get bigger and more rocks break into pieces. It's a cycle. It happens again and again. This means it is a pattern. This happens every year, every winter. Does anyone have any questions about weathering rocks? All right, now we'll do this question. Which actions repeat? Remember, that means happen again and again in the process of weathering by water and ice. Choose all the correct answers. So which things happen again and again? What things repeat? Which things happen again and again in the process of weathering, breaking rock by ice? Choose all the correct answers. I'll give you guys a minute to try on your own. This one's a little harder than the last one. All right, DTT, have you finished your answers?
Answers? Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
I finished my answer.
You finished? Let's see, King Nop, have you finished? We haven't heard from you today.
I finished.
Okay, what do you think, King Nop? What happens, what repeats every year in the process of weathering by water and ice?
I'm not
I think A and B.
Go ahead and read them for me.
Water gets into cracks in rocks. Water freezes to form ice in the cracks and pushes against them.
Excellent. Perfect. Yes, these two things repeat every year. The water gets into the crack, then it freezes and pushes against the crack to make it bigger, until finally it breaks the rock. A and B repeat every year. Go ahead and check your answers. Did you guys get it right? All right, page 230. Let's take a look, everyone. I know, a lot of reading today. This is the last thing we'll read today. Page 230. Look at the pictures. What is happening in these pictures? Here's picture 1, picture 2, picture 3. Mai Hua, what's happening in these 3 pictures?
The tree, the roots of the tree is breaking the rock.
Excellent. It's slowly breaking the rock. Wonderful. And I just chatted you too, Mai Hua. We can see the roots slowly breaking the rock into smaller pieces. The tree is not weathered, but it is weathering the rock. Rock is weathered or broken by tree roots. Don't confuse weather and weathering. Weather is thunder and lightning and rain. Weathering is breaking rocks, okay? All right. And let's hear from Minha. Can you please read this one here about the first picture?
Plant roots grow into
Cracks.
cracks in root and pair on it.
One more time. Rock and press on it.
Rock and press on it.
Good. Press. Press. Excellent. The plant roots go into the cracks and press on the cracks just like the ice did. Please read the second one about this plant here. Let's have our reader be Bao Hun. Go ahead and read this one.
This plant grew through rock. As its root and trunk grew, the pressure was too much for the rock. The rock split in half.
Excellent. So as the roots and the trunk grew bigger and bigger, the pressure splits the rock in half. It splits the rock. It breaks the rock. And the last one, you can see here, the rock is broken into many, many small pieces. MKB, can you read the last one?
Look at the roots. Nearby are pebbles and soil. Over a long time, these roots have split the rock so many times that it became pebbles and soil.
Excellent. So that's weathering by plants. How do plants change Earth's surface? Let's hear from MKA. How do plants change Earth's surface?
It changes Earth's surface by breaking the making more mountains. Because it pushes. No. It break more pieces of mountains and make more landslides.
Excellent. It can make landslides. It breaks the pieces of the mountains. Let's see. How are these similar? How is this similar to weathering by water and ice? Elsa, what do you think? How are these two types of weathering the same?
It's two
These two kinds of weathering.
These two kind of weatherings also crack the rocks.
Are the same because they both crack the rock? That's a good start. I think that's a pretty good start. I'll do a raise your Zoom hand. Who can add to this? Who can give me some more detail about how they are the same?
Because they break rocks.
Okay, let's get more detail than that. Philip?
I think these two kinds of weathering are same because it can break the rock into small pieces in each.
Wow. Because think about it, these are both very different from weathering by wind, right? Weathering by wind is not like this or this. So maybe that's a better question. How are these different from weathering by wind? Why are these different from weathering by wind? Hainam?
Because wind can also erosion and break it.
Okay, wind also does erosion, that's true. I'm thinking more like this. Plants and ice both go into cracks and make cracks bigger. Sorry, I can't type today. There we go. Until they break. Wind throws sand at rocks. It doesn't go into the cracks and make them bigger. So, plants and ice are the same because they go into cracks and they press on them and make the cracks bigger, while wind is throwing sand at the rock to break it slowly. Does this make sense, everybody? Let's have everyone unmute and read this. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Plants and ice
and makes cracks bigger until they break when and
Okay, very good job, everyone. Now, let's review very quickly. Everyone circle your answer. Weathering, what is it? What is it? Excellent. Weathering is breaking rock into smaller pieces. Moving rock would be erosion. And we didn't learn about making rocks. Weathering, faster, slow change. Everyone circle. Wonderful, slow change. What are some types of weathering? I'm gonna fill this in just because we're just about out of time. Actually, we did start like 10 minutes late. I'll have you guys tell me. Let's see, DTT, what's one type of weathering? Weathering by
water.
Weathering by ice.
Water turning to ice. Excellent. Another one, Vivian.
Yes, weathering rock breaks.
So yes, that's what it is, but what can make that happen? What are some kinds of weathering? Weathering by ice. Say it again.
The roots tree.
Tree roots, yes. Weathering by tree roots. Going into cracks and growing. I'll fill in, Bilo, go ahead, Bilo.
Weathering by plants.
Oh, that's this one, plants, tree roots.
Weathering by wind.
Excellent, weathering by wind. And then the last one would be rain. It doesn't even have to freeze, just the rain hitting it. The same way the wind does, it can slowly break the rock over a very long time. Your homework is a word wall game. I just want to quickly show you. It's the word search again. So I want to show you an example so that you remember how to play. A small break in a rock. I would be looking for the word, any guesses? A small break in a rock, I look for the word.
Crack.
Crack.
Erosion.
Crack. Small break in a rock, I'm looking for the word crack. So even over here, I look for a word.
I saw cracks.
Here I find the word weathering.
I saw cracks.
Okay, it's okay. You're gonna be able to do this at home. So here I found the word weathering. Now I need to check. Weathering, the process of moving rocks? No. The process of breaking rocks into smaller pieces? Yes. Okay.
Miss Miranda,
So,
can you bless me now?
that is the homework game, okay? And with that, we're all done, but I will see you again tomorrow. I will teach you again tomorrow, and then I won't teach you again until next Tuesday.